Today's video, we're going to find some bets using ESPN Football Power Index for the Week 5 of the NFL season. Got the latest Football Power Index from ESPN pulled up here with the new rankings. Got our slate starting tonight, Thursday, October 3rd, running through Sunday and ending on Monday. And I've got the model all refreshed, ready to go. So pull them using Power Query, FPI data that we just saw on ESPN. I have a separate video to allow you to do this quickly and for free, so definitely watch that video to be able to pull in the data without any copy and paste. I went ahead and plugged in all the matchups. That brings in our FPI, our offensive defense. We're able to create spread values, total values, and then convert those spread values to implied win percentages. So everything we need to be able to play spread, over, under, and moneyline bets. And with that, I like to use Sportsbook Review. It's 100% free line shopping platform that allows you to toggle between spreads, money lines, and totals. Today's video, I'm going to go fast to provide you with more bets. So definitely follow along, and let's just start with our Thursday night game, the Bucs versus the Falcons. So using ESPN FPI data, we're seeing an implied spread of Falcons a 2-point favorite. Got up on my other screen what all of the sports books are offering. Caesars right now has the best line, and it has the Falcons at a 1.5-point favorite, which if we plug that in based on half-point spread model that I have for free for everybody, based on that, the fair odds would be minus 104. So we're looking for any odds that are longer than minus 104. The best line would be Caesars at minus 105, so that's not an EV bet to place. Look at the money line side. We got plus 110 on Tampa and then minus 120 on the Falcons. And you can see that based on the money line, implied money line odds here, we're looking for anything longer than plus 116. We don't have that because plus 110 was our longest odds. And then anything longer than minus 116. And we saw that minus 120, which is shorter than minus 116. So no money line bets there. And let's go over to the totals. This is all for the Thursday night slate. We're looking for an over-under of 45 points. And right now, all the sports books are offering 43.5 as a line. So that is a first indication that we might have an EV bet. So we're saying that the fair total is 45. That's what we think the outcome is going to be. All the sports books are giving us 43.5. So that movement value, moving from 45 down to 43.5, is worth 21 points. So we're willing to give up 21 points for that movement, which would be a fair odds of minus 121. So anything longer than minus 121 is an EV bet. Let's pull up what I'm seeing here. So you can see that 43.5. Got a lot of books offering minus 110, and we're looking for anything longer than minus 121. So we've got BetMGM, FanDuel, Bet365, DraftKings, and BetRivers is all viable sports books to place your first bet for week 5. So I went ahead and just put in FanDuel at the minus 110, $12.48 wager with 1,000 count value and a quarter Kelly adjustment factor. So 1.25% of your bankroll, implied expected value of about 4.5%, and we expect to win about 55% of the time. So there's your first EV bet for week 5, and that's how the thought process is of going through this. So next we've got our Europe game, so I went ahead and updated this to a neutral home and away, so there's no home field advantage with that being in Europe. Got the Jets and Vikings, so we're looking for spread values of the Vikings a half-point favorite. Looking through right now, and all the sports books are saying they're minus 2.5-point favorite, and they're saying that the Jets are a 2.5 underdog. So we're saying they've only a half-point underdog. So there is our first indication we might have an EV bet. We've got 2.5 here, and it looks like we've got DraftKings at minus 105 as the best line. And we've got minus 116 as our break-even odds. So there's your second bet. We want the Jets to cover that spread on DraftKings at minus 105. Nice EV bet. So 5% EV bet. We're saying that the break-even odds is minus 116. We're getting minus 105 on DraftKings at that 2.5 spread value when we're saying they're actually only a half-point underdog. So there's your second bet. I'm just going to go through all the spreads here real quick. We've got the Commanders and Colts. The Browns and the Commanders. And I'm seeing +4, -4. All the sports books have the Commanders as -3 or -3.5. So let's plug that in here. Get the Commanders. And we're saying they're 4.5 favorite. Sportsbooks are saying they're only -3. So -126. We're getting -110 on Caesars. So let's pull that in here. Okay, there's a 6.61% EV bet, $18 bet for the Commanders to cover that spread. Let's move down to Baltimore and Cincinnati. I've got -2, +2. We have +2.5 for the Bengals. So let's see that probably won't be an EV bet. But let's plug it in just to say. So model's saying they're a 2-point underdog. Sportsbooks are saying they're 2.5. So -104 or longer. Best odds are -105. So no EV bet for the Bengals to cover the spread. The Bills versus the Texans is our next one. We've got the Bills away at a 1-point favorite. And that is how every sportsbook has them right now. So no EV bet there. I got the Colts, Jags, and we are saying we're getting +3, -3, and we're saying that the Colts are actually the favorite. So this is going to be a huge betting opportunity here. So we're saying the Colts are actually a slight favorite versus the Jaguars. All the sports books have that flipped where they have the Jags as a field goal favorite. So let's plug that in and see how big of a bet we're going to place on this using the Kelly Criterion. So we are getting the best line would be 3 at -115. But we're looking for anything longer than -137. So nice EV bet here. And we've got that 3 on Caesars again, or DraftKings, or BetMGM at -115. So a 8% EV bet, so $23.44. Pull it over here just so you can see what I'm seeing. So we got the Colts Jags here. We got that +3 at -115. When we're actually, FPI data is actually saying that that needs to be flipped, that the Colts are actually the favorite, not the Jags. So that's a good EV bet we just have identified. Let's move down. We've got the Panthers and the Bears. We got the Bears as a 6.5 favorite. All the sports books are saying they're 3.5 to 4. So this will be another pretty sizable bet to place for the Bears to cover that spread. Let's plug in our -4 and see what that movement would be. So -124, we're getting -110. On the BetMGM as an example, let's make that -110. So $15.94, or about a 6% EV bet. So Bears covering the spread is another great play. We got the Dolphins and Patriots, two of the weakest teams right now, according to FPI. We're seeing the Patriots as a 4-point favorite. Sportsbooks had that as a much tighter line, with the Patriots only a 1-point favorite. So let's plug that in for the Patriots to win by more than a point. Get -1 here, so we're looking for anything longer than -150. We're definitely getting that. Got BetMGM, Caesars, Bet365. We've actually got DraftKings giving us -105, so let's plug that in. It's going to be our best bet. $44.90, 17% EV, almost 4.5% of your bankroll using Kelly adjustment factor of 0.25 for the Patriots to cover that 1-point spread. So there's a huge EV bet for you right there. Next, we've got Arizona versus the 49ers, saying the 49ers are a 7.5-point favorite, which is consistent with what the sportsbooks have it, so no EV bet there. Raiders Broncos, We've got -2. We've got some -3, +3. So let's see what that looks like. We're saying that the Raiders are only a 2-point underdog. Sportsbooks are saying we got Caesars at +3, -115. Let's see what that looks like. So we need anything longer than -120. We're getting -115. So the Raiders to cover that 3-point spread on Caesars is an EV bet. This is why line shopping is so critical. You got one sportsbook that actually has an EV bet, none of the other ones would. So having multiple sports books is a huge advantage. $6 there. 2% EV bets are not as strong, but still, you place enough of these the course of the season, you're going to make money. All right, we've got a couple more. We got the Packers and Rams. FPI really likes the Packers. They've been consistently rated high the whole year. We've got them as a 5.5 favorite. All the sports books are saying they are a field goal favorite, so let's plug that in. -3, -133. Anything longer than that, we're getting -115 on BetMGM. Okay, so $20 bet, almost a 7% EV bet there for the Packers to cover that spread. And then we've got the Giants and Seahawks. I'm seeing +6, +6.5, -6, 6.5. So we're saying that the Seahawks are actually stronger than that. They're an 8-point favorite. So let's see what that -6.5 at -110 would look like. So there's Seahawks to cover that 6.5 spread. And that is on FanDuel's given us actually -105. That's our best line there. So $20 bet, 7.7% EV, 2% of your bankroll on the Seahawks to cover a 6.5 spread at -105 on FanDuel. And then we've got the Cowboys and Steelers. We're saying the Steelers are 2.5 favorite. Sportsbooks all have that. They actually have FanDuel has them at -105. So let's just see if that is. I don't think that will be, but that's why you got to have a model that tells you objectively whether or not it could be an EV bet or not. So -2.5 is what the model's saying for the Steelers to win by. FanDuel has that at -1.5, but it's at -115 odds, so we need anything longer than -108. So no EV bet there for the Steelers to cover that spread. And then we've got our Monday night game. We've got the Chiefs as a 5-point favorite. All the sports books have that at 5.5. Just intuitively, that's not going to be an EV bet. We can just run the numbers just so you can see how that looks. So we would need something to be +106 or longer. Everything's at -110 or shorter, so no EV bet there. But we just had quite a few EV bets looking at spreads. Let's flip over to totals. We already did the Thursday night game. We can look at our Jets Vikings. We've got 40.5 as the line. That's what all the sports books have. They have 40 or 40.5. There's not going to be enough disparity there to cover the VIG, so no EV bets. Then we got Browns, Commanders, 44.5. I'm seeing 43.5 right now, so let's plug in that. Check out the Browns. So 44.5. We're saying sportsbooks are giving us 43.5, so we need anything longer than -116. Everybody's giving us -110, so we got an EV bet there for. And I'm plugging the Browns, but that just means the over, how I have it structured. So that's how to read that. 43.5. FanDuel's giving us -110. So small EV bet there, 2.5%. $6 bet for the Browns to go over. The Browns Commanders game to go over the 43.5 points. We think it's going to go 44.5. All right, Bengals. Ravens, we've got 50 as our line there. All the sports books are saying 49, so that should be an EV bet. Plug in the Ravens-Bengals game. We think it's 50. We're getting 49 as our line, so -108. We're also getting a 48.5, but it's at minus 115. So neither one of those are EV bets. We would still have some vig we're having to absorb. So that is not an EV bet. Bills Texans 48.5. 47.5 is what all the sports books have. So we would actually want to take the over on that as well. 47.5. So minus 12. So we'll take the over on that. We've got FanDuel at minus 110. Oh, actually, they're giving us minus 105. So there's a nice EV bet having FanDuel. $8 wager, 3% EV for the Bills game to go. Bills Texans game to go over 47.5. We think it's actually going to land at 48.5. So there's another EV bet for you to take on the totals. Let's go down to the Colts Jags 45. All the sports books are giving us 46. We're getting 46.5 on FanDuel. So here's actually an under. So let's pull in the Jags here. So 46.5, what would that look like? We need that to be longer than minus 113. We are getting, let's see here, minus 115. But let's try 46. It's also a line offered, minus 109. We're getting DraftKings at minus 108. So small EV bet here. DraftKings and minus 108. So dollar there, only 0.12% of your bankroll or 0.44 EV. But still, a positive EV bet on DraftKings. Taking the under. All right, Panthers, Bears. And we have got, if I can find it, 39. So all the sports books have that at 41. So we want to take the under again. Bears, 41. We're looking for anything longer than minus 126. We definitely are getting that. Plug in that minus 110. So $18, 6.5% EV. So nice under there for the Panthers Bears game. A couple more bets here for you. Dolphins Patriots, total of 31. All the sports books have that at 36.5. So massive under there. Patriots 36.5. Looking for anything longer than minus 148. So bet 365 is our best line at that minus 110. So almost 4% of your bankroll, 14% EV for that Patriots Dolphins game to be under 36.5. We think it's going to be closer to that 31. Cards 49ers, 49.5. That's what all the sportsbook have that. So no EV there. Raiders Broncos, 36.5. We're seeing some 35.5s. We can check that out. So we'll take the Raiders, the over. So Raiders over 35.5. What does that look like? So minus 110. So nothing there. They're all, minus 115 is our best line. So no EV bet for the Raiders game to go over. Packers, Rams, 50.5. We're getting 49 or 48.5 on FanDuel. So this will be a good EV bet for us. Let's take the over. So we'll plug in Packers here, 50.5. We're getting 48.5, minus 117. So BetMGMs is giving us 48.5 at minus 110. So $8 bet, 2.88% EV. Nice bet there. Okay, Giants, Seahawks, 43.5. That's what all the sportsbooks have. Cowboys, Steelers. It's our last Sunday night game, 43.5. Sportsbooks all have that 43.5 or 44, so no EV bet there. And then we've got the Saints and Chiefs. We're saying that's a 48. All the sportsbooks have that at 43.5. So we are going to definitely take the over on the Monday night slate. 43.5 is what the sportsbooks had that at. So this is going to be a nice EV bet to end the run here. I'm getting 43.5 on FanDuel at minus 108. So $44 bet, 4.4% of your bankroll, 16% EV. That's a great way to end the video there with that nice Monday night play for the game to go over. That 43.5 at minus 108. And looks like FanDuel and DraftKings are offering that. So definitely check out that bet. But that's what I would suggest doing if you've got a couple sports books. Do your line shopping. If you want to use ESPN FPI data to build a sports betting model, I have several videos going over this. Place some bets. Hopefully, week 5 is in the green for you. Best of luck with your sports betting. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and God bless.